It's great to have you on another edition of the program BOI Weekly. I'm Kayode Alayode. Nigeria produces more gas than it currently consumes, and for several years the country flared 70% of its gas. But today that percentage has shrunk considerably as a result of various projects initiated and actually executed to boost the country's gas utilization. This opened up massive investment opportunities in the domestic gas market. Today on the show, we are featuring one of the leading local players in the energy sector, which provides far-reaching solutions as it propagates its footprint across the country in terms of proliferating domestic and industrial consumption of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. Bana Energy Limited has developed competence in gas projects infrastructure design, construction and operation. It's now also begun playing in the power sector. We spent the day with the MD and Chief Promoter, Mr. Nuhu Yakubu, at their office and showroom in Lekki, Lagos. I spoke with him on issues relating to the energy sector in Nigeria, his company's relationship with the Bank of Industry, and sundry matters. Stay close.
Nigeria records post-harvest losses and wastages annually in the agricultural sector due to limited processing and preservation capacity. This results in high food prices and food importation, with its attendant effects on the nation's foreign reserves. To enable Nigerians optimize the benefits from the country's vast agricultural products such as cassava, oil palm, rice, tomatoes, and others, the Bank of Industry has launched a 5 billion naira cottage agro-processing fund, the CAP Fund. Customers can access the fund to establish plans to process our various agro-produce into food products or intermediate raw materials for industries at a single-digit interest rate of 9% per annum. For more information on the CAP Fund, please visit www.boinigeria.com/capfund. Bank of Industry, developing Nigeria's agro-processing industry through the CAP Fund.
Mr. Nuhu Yakubu, thank you for coming on BOI Weekly.
Thank you very much, Kayode, for having me on your show.
It's good to be here.
You're welcome.
Can you tell me about Bana Energy?
Bana Energy Limited is an energy and power business development company. We are in the gas trading, we operate in the gas trading space, gas infrastructure development space, gas applications space, which means we're in the business of not just trading gas, but also developing gas trading infrastructure, from retail infrastructure to bulk trading infrastructure to gas applications, for example, gas to power, gas for agricultural purposes, gas for industrial purposes, and all whatnot. So it's a natural trajectory for us to then evolve into a power company, because gas and power kind of interrelate. In recent times, we have been quite active in the power space as well, in the captive power generation business to embedded generation and then on-grid generation business, with projects lined up with developing in all these segments of the power sector.
When you woke up this morning, what is your thought about the gas sector? Is it that of hope? Is it that of uncertainty, or even despair?
To be honest with you, there's never been a more interesting time in this country for the energy sector, because for once now we're experiencing leadership of the industry, of the energy industry, with a square peg in a square hole. And with the recent pronouncements and policy, direction of the government, we're all happy for the direction the government is going. It's taking the industry. I will give you a few reasons. We have the subsidy issue, which the government is finally taking a firm stand on, that they are withdrawing all forms of subsidies in the downstream sector, save for the outstanding subsidy claims, which they are still battling to settle. But I think going forward, the government has found good reasons to now understand the need for all subsidies in the downstream sectors to be suspended. Then also you have the petroleum industry bill, which bill aims to help fully liberalize and give proper direction to how the downstream sector, in fact the whole entire energy sector, operates. I play in the downstream sector, so I know there are elements of that bill that favors my business. So as we know today, the PIB has been unbundled into smaller bills for ease of passage and for ease of implementation, whether via regulatory framework or legislative frameworks. But any which way, it appears to us now that there's some reasonable traction in the affairs of the petroleum industry or energy industry in the country.
I was just wondering, why are you thinking of delving into power when we know that there's still so much potential in the gas sector?
You know, they are mutually exclusive, so to speak, you know, in much as they are also reinforcing, all right? The energy business, gas business is a business of its own, and the power business is a business of its own. But if you have capacity as a business operator or as an entrepreneur, it's encouraging if you are able to find a good interplay between these two sectors and take advantage of what you know how to do. And that's exactly what we're doing at Banner. So deepening our presence in the gas business has nothing to do with our interest in the power sector. Deepening in our gas business has not in any way interfere with what we do in the power sector. Neither does our interest in the power sector dampen our efforts in the gas sector as well. If at all, I would say they kind of reinforce each other.
This is a pretty large enterprise. How did you get here?
How did I get here is the reason why we are discussing today. It was just the sheer strength of my team. We have a very sound team, very committed team, without which we could never have even dreamt this big. And beyond that is also the active support of financial institutions like Bank of Industry that has given us the support to upon which support we have leveraged to, grow to the size we have become today.
At what point did you realize that you couldn't take this further alone and all by yourself, and then you decided that you would need help from a DFI like the Bank of Industry?
The story can be told today, to be honest with you, because it was a very tough one. As a startup company, relying on commercial bank loans to build out infrastructure in a market that is deregulated, but yet competing against subsidized fuels, it was tough, really very tough. With interest rates, commercial bank interest rates, then at 20-something, over 25%. And all other forms of hidden charges, and then huge operation overheads that we had to bear, held down by low level equilibrium, low level consumption of the fuel that we trade, which is LPG. It was just really very tough. In the course of doing business, we realized that the LPG industry, for all the peculiarities that it bedevils it, all the issues that confronts the industry vis-a-vis its growth potentials, allowing it to realize its growth potentials. We realized that long-term development funds was the way to go for the industry, for anybody who was serious to grow infrastructure in the industry. And the only way we could have dreamt of developing such infrastructure would have had to be long-term, medium to long-term development funds, like such offered by Bank of Industry.
These two demons, pipeline vandalism and of course corruption, have always been heard of as the major culprits in the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. Why is it taking us so long to resolve these things?
Pipeline vandalism is it's got its roots with this socio-political instability, which may have been fueled by economic times, in recent times. The economic conditions of our people in the regions where you have these pipelines laid out may be informing their conduct, all right? So it's a economic, social, and politically influenced conduct, which I think I believe the government should think out of the box to find solutions to. The LPG industry is not very much affected by pipeline vandalism because LPG delivery in this country is largely by road tankers. So because it's by road tankers, when you hear there's a pipeline is vandalized, it's really not affecting LPG supply, right, to the market. But it will affect LPG supply to the market to the extent that the main gas trunk lines that deliver gas to our main gas LPG producers is affected. So if the gas delivery line to NLNG, for example, were to be vandalized, then there will be gas production shortfalls from NLNG to the effect that it might affect us. But again, because we are not even consuming so much, and NLNG is producing so much LPG, all right, it will probably affect the exports more than it will affect the local supply to the market. So pipeline vandalism has really not impacted much on local supply of LPG in Nigeria. And that is why we have said that because of its little or no impact